a Pestel Analysis on Globalization Amidst Pandemic.
As claimed by Population Reference Bureau or PRB, demography changes has a huge impact in the spread of pandemic. Number 1. Infections spread quickly because of population mobility. The disease infection started in China December 2019. By the end of the month, different countries reported COVID-19 cases originating with travelers from different countries. Number 2. Population density in urban areas raises the disease transmission. In accordance to PRB, around 20% to 56% of the world's population in urban areas increased between 1920 and 2020. Lack of hygiene and mostly overcrowding are the main reasons for the spread of disease.
Changing global migration. According to Errol Yabel, the pandemic can be fundamentally changing the face of global migration. Number 1. Global inequality increases. The rich became richer and the poor became poorer. Number 2. Forced migrants are unable to move, keeping vulnerable people in harm's way. Vulnerable forced migrants will also suffer from fewer movement options. When the virus inevitably spreads the rest of the developing world, forced migrants will almost certainly be at greater risk. Number 3. Global migration grows increasingly into the shadows. There is a growing evidence that limits on safe, orderly, and regular migration push vulnerable people, as many as 100 million globally, into shadowy, irregular pathways.
Impact of COVID-19 on global education. Number 1. COVID-19 infection induced school closures that affected more than 90% of learners worldwide. The threat of COVID-19 caused the officials to close the school and universities for safety purposes. Number 2. Education systems have varied responses to the crisis. Remote learning, homeschooling, free online resources are introduced. Some use public television, radio broadcasting, and also try delivering printed assignments to the students' houses.
The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said, "The COVID-19 pandemic has turned the world of work upside down. Every worker, every business, and every corner of the globe has been affected." Number 1. Global unemployment. According to International Labor Organization, COVID-19 has left 1.6 billion workers struggling to pay their expenses. This is due to lockdown measures or because they work in the hardest hit sectors around the world. Number 2. Reduction of working hours. Huge loss of income was the result of millions of companies or businesses that were put on hold during the COVID-19 shutdown. To make up for it, employers decided to reduce their staff's working hours to lower costs and avoid layoffs during this economic downturn. Number 3. Implementation of new ways of working. Skeletal workforce and teleworking were implemented to give employees the opportunity to still work while ensuring everyone's safety. According to ILO Director General Guy Ryder, this is the greatest test for international cooperation in more than 75 years. If one country fails, then we all fail. We must find solutions that help all segments of our global society, particularly those that are most vulnerable or least able to help themselves.
Impact of COVID-19 on religion. Number 1. Social gatherings in religious places of all faiths was banned. Governments around the world banned social gathering in religious places of all faiths and canceled the surrounding observances and festivals. In general, especially during the period of strict lockdown, all churches, mosques, synagogues, and temples remained closed for physical presence but allowed worship through live stream during the pandemic. Number 2. Performed excellent in the relief of charity wing. Although the relief of charity wing of almost all religions performed a good job in this period of health emergency and made available to affected people all kinds of help, including food and other health-related requirements in hospitals and other destined places. Many of them also offered free testing kits of the COVID-19, prayed for the end of the pandemic, and requested the scientists and physicians to control the disease at the earliest.
The impact of COVID-19 in community safety. Respiratory health issue. COVID-19 seems global emergency by infectious virus cause respiratory illness like having symptoms of flu, sickness, headache, and difficulty breathing. Within months, the world has transformed, thousands of people are died, and many more are falling due to COVID-19. Online scam. There have been many reports in scam that treat people, which put people in at risk identity theft with personal information, passwords, contacts, and bank details. Some of these emails had people to click offering information about people who affected coronavirus. Promotion of safety procedures during COVID-19. We continue to monitor activity around COVID-19 to better understand how people using advertising tools during pandemic. We allow people to promote hand sanitizer, covering the face, avoiding close contact by maintaining social distancing, and staying at home during quarantine.